Hello and welcome back to part 2. This part is going to have the flower cup in it, and we're going to be using, like I said, the other 4 lightweights with 4 bikes. First, we're going to use Toad, and I think it's the Bullet Buster. I missed the name. The point is, it looks like a bullet bill. You remember how I complained that the carts don't really differ that much? That's not true with the bikes. I think the bikes do differ greatly, and I think the bikes are nice to... The bikes actually feel different to each other. I like that. So, Mario Circuit. I said at the end of the previous video that the rest of the tracks are really good in my mind in general. Mario Circuit's no exception. I really like Mario Circuit. I didn't comment on this the last time. My usual tactic to starting off a race is actually to fall behind and get a really good item, and then while everyone is still bunched up, fight my way up as far as I can without the item. But I just I decided to check there whether the bullet bill would go past the chain chomp. It turns out it doesn't. But yeah, I like trying out stuff like that. Okay, so Toad and the Bullet Buster. Like I said before, I don't see that many differences in most of the characters, but I will say that Toad seemed to be the lightweight I think I did the best with. The Bullet Buster has a... I think that hit the toe. Anyway, the Bullet Buster has a really inwards drift. Like when you're drifting, the bike seems to want to take a very tight turn. And I like that. I think for most of the circuits, I think in general actually, an inwards drift is much more useful than an outwards drift. The karts feel like somewhere in the middle, and there are a few bikes that feel a bit middle-ish. This is a shortcut you can take, by the way, but do not do it unless you have a mission to boost onto that thing. As far as Mario circuits go, this is probably one of my favourite Mario circuits. It's simple, but it doesn't feel simple. I don't know how to explain it. There's only one Mario circuit that I think I like more than it, and it's in this game as well, so yeah. I have no problems with that Mario circuit. Right, next character. Toadette! And we're going to be using the Nano bike, which is one of my least favourite bikes. I don't like this bike. On the topic that I was running on the previous thing, by the way, Toadsworth. Toadsworth could have taken the spot from Baby Daisy as well. I don't like... Baby Daisy... I hate Baby Daisy. That's simple. I actually did this, I actually do the whole Grand Prix with each character when I'm getting the race footage for each race with the characters. I think this was easily my worst run of Coconut Malt out of the characters I did use. So yeah. So the Nano bike, it has the outwards drift that I was mentioning. I don't think it's that big an outwards drift. You'll have noticed in the stats that I seem to use the Wario bike a fair bit. That's no longer my main thing, but yeah. The Wario bike seems to have a more outwards drift than this. It's useful for... Snaking was cut in this game, but if you wanted to emulate it, I guess an outwards drifting bike would be the best way to do that. I like that snaking got kicked out, by the way. I don't think... it made races boring, in my opinion. No. Having to constantly do the... constantly building up a mini turbo on that, it doesn't have much of a race element to it, as it does a time trial element. If I want to do a time trial, I'll go to the time trial mode. I've got a bit of a cough right now, in case you don't notice. So yeah. Toadette's pretty good as well. I don't like the Nano bike, but again, like Toad, I thought Toadette seemed to be slightly better than the other lightweights as well. I find Toadette would run a bit smoother. If I'm ever using lightweights, Toadette is probably the one I'm going to pick actually, because Toadette is my favourite out of the lightweights. Baby Luigi is the only other one I seem to like a lot. I've got no clue why I like Toadette as well, because she's just a female Toad. There's like nothing special or unique about her, in my opinion, that makes that I should really like. So yeah, there is an extra route up there, by the way. That's not every route that you can take at that section. There's a fourth route. But it's easily the slowest in my opinion, so yeah. And in order to effectively use it, you need to mushroom boost over something, so yeah. I don't like it. The route I did take is the least effective by far, in my opinion. Coconut Mall returned in Mario Kart 7 as well, but I didn't like it that much in Mario Kart 7. Here though, I really do like it. I'll say again, the tracks from this point onwards are really good in my opinion. Coconut Mall is a major is one of my favourites. Partly because of this section, like, there's so many different routes you can take. I like things like that, multiple pathways. I also like that these elevators change direction as well. I already said earlier that I like when a lap changes each time. Next up, Koopa Troopa. We're going to be using the Quacker. The Quacker. I don't really like this bike. I like this track. The DK Snowboard Cross. Look at it. I think it's just gorgeous. It's lovely. This is one of my favourite tracks in the game. It's also one of the few tracks where I will outright usually boost at the start. Like I've already said, my preferred tactic is to wait and get a good item. But this track starts off with a cannon firing into the air, like several other DK courses, including a retro one that's in this game. I really do think that I have no clue what happened there. Because I seem to drop my thing and then drive into my own thing. I'm not entirely sure how that happened. I'm pretty sure you can mushroom boost for a shortcut over there, but I'm not really one that practices mushroom boosting shortcuts. Purely because they require the mushroom. I don't like to try and learn shortcuts that require me to have a specific item. This is my usual tactic there is exactly what I did there, just to constantly do jumps over that thing. And green shell! That's my... Would it be weird if I said I think the green shell is my favourite weapon in Mario Kart? It's easily one of the least effective ones. But it's also the fairest one in my opinion. And while I like the chaos that Mario Kart gives out, as far as a favourite weapon is concerned, it would need to be one that I think is nice and fair in that. And bananas and green shells both fit that bill in my opinion. Now, the green shell even more so, it's just a straight up shot. Ah, my old nemesis. Wonder what Koopa... have we seen a Koopa actually in the spiny blue shell? I want to see that at some point. Like actually have a Koopa that's got the blue shell on it, actually wandering around. And I mean the spiny blue shell. I know that the Koopas aren't the ones that are supposed to wear the spiny shell. The spinies are like the little... They actually move like a tortoise even more so than the Koopa Troopers. But yeah, this is like I say, this is one of my favourite tracks in the game. I really like it. It's got a nice look to it, which I think is lovely. It's got a brilliant piece of music playing. I love the music for this track. Something that you might notice as I do more LPs. I will praise the music of quite a few things, but a lot of my friends know me as that person who just doesn't like music. And I don't. most of the music my main problem with music is I just don't like lyrics. I'm not a big fan of when lyrics are in the song because they distract me from the tune. That's not a problem with most video games. So I like a lot of video game soundtracks an awful lot. Alright, the final lightweight character. Dry Bones on the Magic Cruiser. That's like a match made in heaven. If only Kamek would have been brilliant to use that thing with as well. Mario's Goldmine. This is probably my least favourite track in this cup. And I still really like it. I think the Flower Cup in Mario Kart Wii is a very strong cup. Mario Circuit, really good. In fact, it's really, really, really good, in my opinion, Mario Circuit in this game. The DK Snowboard Cross is one of my favourite tracks in Mario Kart, never mind just this game. And Coconut Mall is strangely very iconic now. I really like it in Mario Kart Wii. It's one of my... The Flower Cup in this game is really strong in my opinion. Mario's Goldmine is my least favourite level, my least favourite course in the Flower Cup, and I still really like it. Something I find interesting is you can land on that warp pipe that's down there. All those things you see in the background in that, they're actually solid objects that you can land on. You don't want to because then you're off the track, but yeah. The Magic Cruiser, it's got a really good off-roading, which isn't going to be that useful here, but still. You can consistently do turbo boosts with it, if you know what to do with it. I'm an idiot. I thought I got hit there. Huh. Must have been one of the other characters that got hit there. And the blue shell of death. I think it's obvious at this point, but the reason I throw off all of my items before the blue shell hits me is because it removes your items. You might as well throw them down while you've still got them. So yeah, King Boo's an idiot. Who fires red shells backwards? Right. About the POW block. The POW block seems to The POW block is intended to knock your character around and stop them from moving. It also has your character just lay still for a moment, yeah? If you do the input to do a trick or a wheelie, then your character actually will not slow down. You'll lose your items, but you're not going to slow down. That's how, whenever you see a POW block, that's why I don't slow down after being hit by it. But yeah, that was the Flower Cup, and I think it's a really strong cup. Very good tracks, in my opinion. The bikes there as well, I think were really neat. The Magic Cruiser goes off-road. The Quacker has a nice inwards drift, as does the Magic Cruiser actually. That's the main reason bikes are considered broken, I think. Not because of the wheelie, because I can keep up with a wheelie kind of decently with the Kart's 2 boosts. That's the other main difference between a kart and a bike. A bike can do a wheelie, which gives it a boost in a straight line. A kart, however, can accumulate a stronger turbo boost by drifting. Okay, so there we go. That was all of the Flower Cup, and that's all of the lightweight characters. There are still 2 more karts, but you'll see them later. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to move on to the next cup. And we're going to be using the medium weight characters with 4 karts, okay? So see you then.